revenge is a dish best served cold. Everton got a rather heaping portion of it last night, thanks to Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, and Gabriel Martinelli, not once, but twice. Want to talk about it? Here we go. How's it? Welcome to another episode of Loose Cannons. You know who I am. That's Glenn. That's Ryan. He's loud. He talks a lot. I just have a beard. I think we're all in a pretty good mood today, fellas. We'll start with the pleasantries. Glenn, how are you?
I'm doing great. Because I might forget at the end of the show, I just wanted to wish my condolences to Stephen Featley's family and friends. I knew the kid. I call him a kid. He was in his like 28, I believe. But I didn't even know it was at that stage. And when I found out 3 days after it happened, it was really tough. And I just want to send out my condolences. That kid was one of the nicest people I've met since I've been online. Kind-hearted. And the heart of a lion. Rest in peace, Stephen. I had to say that because I haven't done that on Twitter or anything else. So thank you for letting me say that, BG.
Quite all right. Well said. Well said. Here. And I think we all echo those sentiments for sure. So, Ryan, how are you?
Good.
How was your nap?
Pretty awesome.
Ryan,
pretty awesome.
Ryan, wake the fuck up. I'm in a tent. It's freezing. And I think I stepped in dog shit on the way in here. So just calm down. At least you're, in your warm, cozy bedroom with your sex toys.
I do have that, yes.
It actually is quite ironic that this is the first that I think anyone has referred to the unicorn as a sex toy.
I don't.
Like, I'm surprised that it's taken this long.
When I saw Saka score, I don't want to get too behind the camera, but Glenn's not wrong. I'll leave it at that.
I just remember last year at some point where something great happened, and Ryan, you joked about being intimate with that thing. That's why I said that.
I thought that was my poop pillow.
Oh, it might have been. BG, I steered.
Glenn, he's probably intimate with both. I mean, it just
Oh, boy. I'm sorry. Anyway. I keep steering the show off the wrong way.
No, it was me. It was me. Where did you guys watch the game at, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
Home.
Both at home?
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. I was at the bar. I was working, and decent little crowd for the game, which I'm happy about. I'm trying to get the Pittsburgh chapter of Arsenal supporters up and running and get us our own bar, because for some, I know why this. So I'm kind of just I'm Glenn, as you know, I'm filling airtime right now.
No, go. I'm very interested.
I think I've said this before, but the big soccer bar in Pittsburgh, most everybody goes there. It doesn't matter who you support, but it's become a de facto scumbag bar. I mean, they've kind of taken over it.
Wait.
Excuse me.
You talk about Spuds right now?
Yeah.
Ugh.
There's a reason why. So I'll tell a quick story. There was a guy that used to go in there. His name's Tony. And unfortunately, Tony passed away some years ago. But Tony was from North London and a big Spurs fan. I'll actually say it for his sake. But Tony was a great guy. Great guy. You came in. Didn't matter what you went into that bar for. Tony would shake your hand, greet you with a smile. It was just one of those things.
I'm sorry. There's been a Tony in every bar I've ever walked into. Go ahead.
Of course. But I think because of that, it became a de facto Spurs bar. But the bartender, his name was Brian, and just you've never met a better bartender in your life. I promise you've never met a better bartender. Just a fantastic guy, personality. He's on top of it, just, day in, day out. You could be 4 deep at the bar, all the tables full, and he's got you. He knows your name.
Nice.
He knows what you're drinking. You make eye contact, give him a thumbs up. He pours you one, and it's ready to go. You're not standing there waiting with money in your hand, trying to flag it down like you're some, airplane controller at the airport, waving them in. But anyway, everybody goes to that bar. I'm trying to get us into our own place, which is my place. So decent little crowd yesterday. We were all excited, high-fiving, fist bumping when the goals got scored. It was a good time. It was good to see. So that's where I was. Yeah.
Well, it was a 2:45 game, and my family leaves me alone every time there's an Arsenal game on. So it's very rare to have a whole afternoon where nobody bothers me.
I mean, I am stunned that anybody can do that at home.
Yeah.
I have 3 dogs that don't leave me alone.
But yeah, I mean, as far as that game goes, being up 2-0 at halftime was great, but I didn't even think we played that well in the first 45 minutes. Sorry, that's probably a bad thing to say, but yeah, I don't know how you guys couldn't be happier. I actually came close to getting a prediction right. I said we would spank them 3-0, but yeah, I have no complaints after that game at all.
I'm curious, Ryan. What did you think of the first 45?
I don't think it was. I don't think it was as bad as Glenn and the rest of the social media universe made it out to be. We did our best Iwobi impersonation. We were kind of paying tribute to Iwobi. I thought we played great from out the back. We had some good passing moments. We were playing well, and for some reason, we just couldn't put that final touch together. It's like we froze. Once we got in the box or near the box, we froze, which is, again, Iwobi. At least when he played for Arsenal, that's what he was like. I mean, no, I guess there was moments where we were very sloppy. And I know the first 15, I would go as far as saying 15. Our first 15 minutes weren't great, and that's usually our best footballs in the first 15 minutes of each half. Yeah, it wasn't great. We were a little sloppy in the midfield, but so were they. And we were just it was kind of end to end for I would say 10, 15 minutes. Both midfields kind of losing the ball. And we're, obviously looking at our starting 11, our midfield is not the quickest. So when we lost possession, it kind of made it seem like they were in the game when they really weren't. And, but I mean, yeah, kind of, I don't want to say shake the cobwebs off because, we just recently played a couple days ago. But yeah, I mean, I think once we got kind of into the game, into the flow, when we kind of showed Everton we weren't backing down and we weren't letting off the gas anytime soon, they eventually cracked and we found a hole, and that was it.
Yeah, Ryan and I have a lot of common ground with the game, BG, and I can't wait to hear what you think about the first 45. But I agree with Ryan. I loved our passing out of the back, but what frustrated me was what also frustrated Ryan, which was the lack of that final pass. And, it feels really bad to say that when we had a 2-0 lead at halftime, but, it's almost a compliment. We could have played even better.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you. It's troubling when, like Ryan said, we kind of go all Alex Iwobi as a team. We get into the final third, and then it's kind of like, okay, we're here. What do we do now? It's when my prom date took her dress off on prom night, it was like, okay, great, I'm here. What do I do now? Wow, really? Nothing for me. The one.
No,
damn it. Fuck, I thought that was kind of funny.
I was trying to think if you were being serious. I couldn't.
I thought you were serious.
Now I'm laughing.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I didn't know if you were serious.
At least everybody's laughing now at the two of you at my expense. It's fine. No, it's look, we've talked about it before, right? The problem is breaking down that low block, and Everton stayed very organized in the first 20 minutes or so. They stayed. I mean, when we look at how we scored the goals were not scored necessarily from a lot of long build out from the back and 60 passes, and they were made with maybe it was a turnover, obviously Martinelli's, the second goal for Martinelli. When we move and we move quickly, that's how we're going to break those things down. So all of the passing, the movement, everything that was nice and it's pretty and we're really good at it, there's got to be the end product. And if we don't have the end product, what good is all of that? So I was pretty frustrated through the first half hour because yeah, we played well. But if there's no end product to it, what like I said, I don't want to say what's the point, but what's the point?
It's hard to give credit to a team that lost 4-0, but they did sit back and they were tough to break down that first 45.
That's and there's the blueprint.
I don't agree, but okay.
That they sat back.
They sat back. I don't think they were hard to break down. I think they just sat back, and I think, again, I said before, the game was just so end to end and chaotic, and we couldn't. I think it was. So when we first played them and they beat us 1-0, I think you actually asked this question, Tanner. I think you asked, did we lose it or did they win it? And funny enough, I think both of you said we lost it, and I said they won it. And I think obviously we didn't play well when we played them in the reverse fixture, but I thought they played really well. They had a lot. They were very strict and they were very. Why am I losing this word? Not strict.
Or organized?
No. What's
discipline?
The word?
Discipline?
Yeah, discipline. Wow. Yeah, I'm still napping. They were just very disciplined in their structure and they didn't break and they played very well. I think I don't want to say the opposite, but I didn't think they were really that disciplined. I think Emelianenko, whatever his face is, was doing the same thing, kicking Saka, trying to see what he can get away with. And then at times they had Gay, they had Emelianenko, they had I can't think of his name. They had McNeil and they had somebody else. All of them were at some point, usually 2 or 3 of them at one time on Saka. And they were but they were very static in defense, and they were letting us kind of free roam in between the midfield and the defense, and even behind the defense too. We were making a lot of good runs. And actually, funny enough, I noticed it not from someone you would think. I noticed it from Xhaka. Xhaka was getting in some amazing positions for us. I think he didn't have a good half. I'm not saying he had a good half, but what frustrated me was he got himself in a really good positions. He made really good runs, and he just didn't know what to do with it. I'm going to literally read you my notes, and I go, Xhaka is getting a hot chick to take her clothes in front of him, and then he turns around and he shows her his butthole. And you're like, well, you did so well, and there's your Swedish.
God, you have no idea the tangent that I could go off.
Yeah, I know.
That it's totally unrelated to Arsenal with what you just said.
Listen, and it was something that I wrote in my notes again, like something I kept calling out. I cannot, and I'm really not trying to beat this drum every show. I'm really, really not. But I really want Vieira to get a run of games. If he is going to be our left 8, which I don't know, I think he is. We brought ESR on. He played right wing. He played 10. He didn't really play left 8 to me today or yesterday, excuse me. But whoever our left 8 backup is, which I think it's Vieira. Hopefully, I really want it to be ESR, but yeah.
I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at Dublin Goon.
No. Yeah, pretty insane. I think it might be my first butthole reference too, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, I really want an upgrade there. I think that's going to, be a solution to a lot of our problems that we had in the first 45 minutes for you guys, 15 minutes for me. And I think it just opens up a lot, and it'll make us, I think, convert chances in the final 18. And on top of that too, I think what made me realize it as well is seeing Xhaka's clone on the field now, and we signed Xhaka's clone in Jorginho, that I'm like, I totally get. I think I totally understand why people loved Xhaka before I did, and why I just couldn't stand him and wanted him out of the team. He was so trash and horrible, and anytime he played well, I go, nope, he didn't play well. Or, I did give him credit here and there, but people definitely had a longer leash than I did. You know, and you know, now seeing Jorginho in his passing and kind of letting him loose, you kind of like, oh, okay, like we don't. And in all due respect to Xhaka, who's been a very important player this season, like, well, we kind of don't need him anymore. It's like, you're here to yell at people and be a leader on the pitch? Like, we don't. We're. I think we're such a good team. We don't need that.
I just want to. I don't agree with the Xhaka is the same as Jorginho. Xhaka's a very good passer, but Jorginho's on that next level as far as I'm concerned with passing. But I think Xhaka's a little bit better defensively. The other thing I wanted to say about the past game was with. No, I think Xhaka's way better at defense than Jorginho.
I think it's I think both things are so negligible. I think saying Jorginho's better at passing than Xhaka, it's like, yeah, I mean, they're both very good at picking out a good pass, and I think that was the only reason why I wasn't tweeting Xhaka out every tweet is because, like, well, yeah, he had a nice pass. That's all he had. That's all. Okay. That's the only thing that, in my opinion, Xhaka had was a good pass. And I guess that's more of a knock on Xhaka. I don't think Xhaka is that good defensively.
Okay.
We're going on tangent here. Yeah, go.
That was just like my lead point, and then I wanted to get to the other point, which was last game. There was, you guys, I'm sure you saw it, all the position switching up front, and when Martinelli would come inside, Xhaka would fill that spot. And I thought he did a pretty decent job. Not great, but I thought he did a pretty decent job. And when I was reading an article on the game, I learned a new term I never heard before. Xhaka was playing half winger. When he was filling in there, because he did it a lot. So I'm not as down on Xhaka as you are in his performance. And that's it.
Well, and this isn't me trying to be combative. I'm curious. I want to know from you, what did he do for you that you were like, oh, like he wasn't that, like, what like, gas him up for me. What did he do that was so well?
It wasn't so much that what he did well. He didn't F up. If we were doing player ratings, I would have gave him a 6. I just, the way you were talking,
a 6. If we're gonna win the league, a 6 is not good enough.
Okay. You're being combative. And I
know
I'm
not. I know
you are being combative. All right.
A 60 is a 6 is a 60 on a test. That's failing. For me, 65 is passing. 60, you're failing.
6.5.
Yeah. You're just passing.
I don't want to argue about this.
I don't want
to argue about this. Hang on. So, what did Xhaka do wrong that was solely on him? Because I'm going to be a little combative. There are times you say these things about Granit Xhaka, but you say the same thing about someone else, and then you blame Granit Xhaka for someone else doing the same thing that he's doing.
Ooh, like example. I want to know now.
So, getting into the final third, and you kind of made a blanket statement, and I agreed with you. So maybe it's not that combative. I agreed with you, but we got there, and then it was okay. What do we do now?
I think the difference is
Xhaka gets there, and it's the what do I do now? But if Martinelli gets there and it's the what do I do now? But you've tended to blame Xhaka for Martinelli's.
So the difference here is, as a team, what do we do now? Is in we get in the final third and we would lose the ball. We would have a sloppy pass. Martinelli early on.
All right.
He should have played to Trossard earlier. He didn't. He dribbled it instead, and then he played it, and then it was blocked. A lot of just like second guessing, whereas Xhaka actually, and this is, I guess, a positive. Xhaka made the good run. He got into space, got into a good position, and then it's like, oh, but you're not useful there. Like, it's like, yeah, you made the good run, but you're not useful there. Like, I think it might have been more of a compliment, because I think his running off the ball was very good.
That's exactly.
I guess his previous games. What game was it? I think it was our last game where he had the ball in all of this. Or no, it might have been the last time No, it was the time we played Leicester. Blue teams, man. He had all this space, and he look
alike.
He was alone on goal, and he just he dribbled the ball. Couldn't have dribbled the ball any slower. B, didn't know what to do with it. Next thing you know, he's in the box, and there's two players around him, and I think he shot it, and it blocked. A Leicester player blocked it, but it's just, again, it's like.
Okay.
You need to kind of know what to do when you get the ball. And like with us, I think take that Martinelli situation that I just set out. I think, kind of knew what to do. We just didn't do it right, or we did it too late, or it was just the wrong idea. And I think something also I said too. I thought Odegaard did not have. I think up until Odegaard, I won't even go far in saying first half. Up until Odegaard scored the goal, I thought he was probably. I think he was our worst player on the pitch. I mean, and by worst player, it's not like he was the worst thing ever. But if you had to pick a worst out of the 11, for me, it was Odegaard.
Well,
it wasn't even Xhaka.
It was Odegaard. I mean, the same applies when you have a really good, like, I mean.
And I think that's also a reason why I think
the opposite of that
struggle in why we struggle in the final third is because he is the guy that so everything goes through him. So he's that kind of final switch, that final touch, that Odegaard.
Oh, okay.
He's that final switch, that final touch, that final turn, whatever he does that just like gives us that extra little oomph. He did it earlier. He did it he does it all the time. He did it a lot during the beginning of the season where every touch was just magical and everything flowed through him. And then when he got the ball and his pirouettes and his passing, every time he had it and passed it, you thought like, okay, like something's happening here. We're scoring. Whereas he just looked gassed. He didn't look in the game. His touches didn't seem magical. And you were kind of just like, you're just there. And like, he just seems very, I know he's not a fast player to begin with, but he just like, wasn't really doing it for me. And I mean, granted, now I guess it was a confidence thing. I mean, he looked very slow, very he's gassed, like he needs to like sit some games out. But I mean, after he scored, the clip is making rounds where he slid. I think it was a Iwobi, right? They both went to the ball, they both slid, and he kind of like.
Oh, you talking about Odegaard when he backheeled it with his
So yeah, I mean, maybe it was a confidence thing, but I think the final third is. I don't like making a blanket statement about the team, but really about Odegaard. But I just feel like since Odegaard's fallen off, or when Odegaard's not in the game, and when Odegaard falls off, it just seems that we can't convert the final third. None of the players can. It's very interesting.
Go, Glenn.
BG, you can time me 10 seconds. By the way that Ryan's talking, you wouldn't know that we had 74% possession, 748 passes, 87% accuracy. We had 748 passes. They had 274. They had 26% possession. I don't understand why you are so picky, Ryan. I really don't. Okay.
Glenn, 70. Who gives a fuck if we have the ball for 70% possession of the game? I don't care. We can pass the ball. We can pass the ball. If Saliba, Gabriel, and Ramsey can fucking play patty cakes with the ball in the back, and we can have possession 100% of the time. It don't mean fucking shit.
All right, how about the final
score? If we had 80% possession in their box or 80% possession in the final third, that's something to talk about. At one point in the game, I believe it was 50 minutes into the game. We had 8 touches in their 18-yard box. How many touches did Everton have in our 18-yard box?
All right.
8.
Stop.
I know. I'm right. I know. But
your wind is coming all the way to New York here. Your wind is just blowing everywhere. Fine. We understand. You're hard to please. God bless your beautiful wife. God bless your beautiful wife. You are hard to please.
Glenn, it has nothing to do with me being hard to please. We had the same amount of touches in the opponent's box. We had the same amount of touches as Everton in each other's box, 8. So just because we had 70% possession, like 700 passes, woo! I wish you know what, Glenn, you can get me for Christmas. You can get me a hat with a propeller on it. So when you make a statement about us having 80%, I can just fling the pinwheel and go, woo! 80% possession.
I swear to God, if somebody does not do that for Ryan, opportunity missed if this does not happen.
Oh my
God.
Saying. Ryan, I'd give you $50 to wear a beanie thing with a propeller on top. I would
I think
I'll put it on every time you're talking and boost us about our possession and passing.
You both make very good points. I don't think that it is as I don't want to. You're not making it, Ryan. You're not making it sound like it's all doom and gloom. To me, that's not how I'm taking it. I get where your head is at with everything, and I probably, Glenn, you're going to hate this. I probably tend to side more with Ryan only from this. Like I said, all of the possession in the world is fantastic. At the end of the day, the only stat that matters is goals. But and the Xhaka thing, my thing with Xhaka is, and I agreed again with Ryan. But I think that's everybody. You know, and Ryan, you had said something a little while back when Martinelli was having his dip in form about, well, I think the dip in form for Martinelli kind of falls at the feet of Granit Xhaka because Xhaka's not getting forward to support him as much as what he had been and pulling a defender away from Martinelli, allowing Martinelli to get into a free space and get him the ball. One of the prettiest goals that we've scored this year, and for the life of me, somebody tell me who it was against. Martinelli gets the ball on the wing. He brings it inside, and basically, so Martinelli is running into the middle. Xhaka is coming in from behind, but also coming from the right and angling left. And Martinelli just leaves the ball, and Xhaka took it and scored. It was, I want to say it was like last night. It was before the internet. It was before the World Cup. But it was an absolutely brilliant goal.
Just look up Xhaka's goals. You'll find it in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, he's got
two
what?
goals
He's got
for
what?
us.
Three?
No, I think he might have 3 actually. Yeah.
But anyway, and it was the last goal that he scored. I'm fairly certain it was the last one that he scored. But it was a beautiful goal. It was just a beautifully worked goal from start to finish. Kind of when Martinelli, started doing his thing. It was fantastic. But there's the support from Granit Xhaka in the final third that Ryan's talking about that allows Martinelli to do things that Martinelli does. Excuse me. I don't think that Granit Xhaka is as bad as Ryan is saying he is. And I know that Gary in the
offensively, what has he done for us though? Like, yeah,
but I think you have to look at it in terms of what.
Put it this way, I think he's doing so bad. I don't want to say so bad. I think he's just the last few games. I think he's just the bottom. He's just the 11th player. If you had to rank 11 players, he's 11.
No,
and we're the time out. We're the best team in the league, so that's not like the worst thing in the world. But you're still 11 of 11.
So preface it.
I say that because I know who's on our bench. I know we have ESR, who I think can do a fucking tremendous job. Yes, he's been hurt, but he's coming back. I think Vieira can do a tremendous job. And all the reports and all the press conferences Arteta's having that's just jerking off Vieira, saying, oh, he's giving me such a headache. He's giving me fucking orgasms that I can't fucking think straight. I can't walk straight. I'm having trouble, and he's very close to starting in our starting 11. Well, fucking start him then. What are we even talking about here? I think that's why I'm coming down harder on Xhaka. I mean, people can say, "Oh, it's your agenda. You never liked him." Yeah, fine, maybe, but like when you're talking, you're pumping up Vieira so much, and I'll be honest, I'm biased. I fucking love Emil Smith-Rowe. I do. I won't deny that. Him and Elneny against any 11 in the Premier League, I'm picking them too. I mean, maybe play Leno in goal. Oh wait. No. Yeah. I've played Leno in goal. But I just, you hear about these positions and you see how good Vieira can be with his passing, with his shooting. ESR, he was our leading goal scorer last season, and just knowing he could do what he could do with the ball, without the ball. And I think ESR is better defensively than Xhaka. I think he's better in every other facet of it. Yeah, 100%. Glenn Knight, it's not even close. ESR, the only thing I would say that Xhaka has over ESR is maybe his long range of passing, but hey, that's Jorginho. Jorginho's passing has been fucking amazing since we've signed him. So I mean, again, I'm slating Xhaka, but I mean, with top of the league, you have to make these decisions and movements. And again, yeah, I love it.
But wait, we're top of the. So are we top of the league despite Granit Xhaka?
No, I never. No. Again, I didn't say that. I just said
I know, but
no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you had to pick the 11, like if you had to rank all 11 players this season, or I wouldn't even say this season because Xhaka's probably a little higher up because he was so immense for us in the beginning half of the season. But I think last 10 games, I think he's 11 of 11, and that again, we're the top team in the league, so it's not.
I think, given what you're saying there, honest to God, I think that the only player that you could really not include in a statement of at some point for multiple games every regular in the starting 11. So if we're everybody healthy, here's the starting 11. Every player bar one has had a couple 2-3 weeks where you say he's just the 11th player. The only player that I wouldn't put in there is Bukayo Saka. I think we'll go through it. Ramsdale, dip in form. You could have said I take a break. Throw Matt Turner in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say 11 of 11 though. I would, yeah. All these players that you're gonna say, where I'm gonna disagree with, because where I agree with what your sentiment is, I agree that every player on our team has had to perform. Yes, agree. Has every player been 11 of 11 for a span of 10 or more games?
Not 10 or more, but I don't think Granit Xhaka
or 5. I'll even say 5. No, not even close.
I think at the end of the day, what I would chalk it down to with Granit Xhaka, and why Arteta is going to continue to start him if he gets a contract extension, why he's going to get a contract extension.
He's going to, and I'm not saying I disagree with it.
And I've said this. Stop me if you've heard this before. But Mikel Arteta values 2 things. He values versatility and he values intelligence. And he looks at Granit Xhaka, whether you agree with it or not, he looks at Granit Xhaka and he says, you are one of the smartest players.
Thank you, Gary.
One of the smartest players that we have. Hang on, because I saw that Gary said something, because I know this is right up Gary's alley here. If Arsenal was, I get that.
And when you have ESR and VR on the bench, it's more like, dude, like
I was screaming yesterday, and I wish I had the guys that were in the bar watching this right now that could attest to it. But I'm like, at 60 minutes, was it Odegaard scored? I guess what, in the 70th minute? How late? Anyway, it was regardless. We were well in control. At 60 minutes, we were well in control.
71st minute.
And I'm shouting, exactly what you're saying. I want ESR to come on for Xhaka, not because I think Xhaka is playing poorly. I want to see ESR come on. I want to see him play in that role. This is where, and goddamn, we're top of the league by 5 points, and listen to us.
Well, I don't want Arsenal starting 11. Not even Arsenal. I don't want the whole Arsenal squad's dick in my mouth. I can't fit it. I have a terrible gag reflex. I brush my tongue.
I can attest to that, by the way.
Yes. when I'm out drinking, the day
That's
after,
what it's from, though, Glenn. It's from a night of us out drinking.
All right. When do I get to respond to all of it?
Hold on. I brush my tongue after a night out, or just in general, I brush my tongue. I'm gagging. So I can't even fit it that far.
Hey,
so I have zero gag reflex. I don't want the whole Arsenal cock in my mouth, so I'm gonna fucking break it down. I'm gonna chop it up.
I want to shout out my brother. This is my brother Chris in the chat. So, Chris, put your YouTube
brother
thing.
Or your
it's my brother. Put your YouTube channel in the chat. Everybody, go give my brother's YouTube channel a subscribe. But I want to shout my brother out for being in here. Thanks, man. I appreciate the support.
Okay. First,
go.
Please, I'll try to be brief. The Xhaka thing. Ryan, I was trying to figure out, and you explained it nicely, saying that you think ESR would be better in Xhaka's spot. I'm not willing in a title run to see if you're right or not. I'd rather still have Xhaka in there. Talking about starting
not against Everton or Bournemouth. Or
I'm not
saying over the season. Yeah, a couple games.
We've talked about it. Tweaking, sure. But I thought you were talking about in there, and Xhaka, you ride the pine for a while. That's what I thought you were saying. And as far as Xhaka goes, I don't like defending him, because to me, I don't like Xhaka the person, but he showed it on the field to me this year that I respect his talent. And you're talking about the starting 11. Darren Bent, I saw him say, I think it was yesterday, that Raheem Sterling couldn't even get into the Arsenal starting 11. And I thought about that. I'm like, he's crazy. He's right. We got a damn good team, and the only position I see we can upgrade on is Xhaka, and we got Jorginho on the bench, and you think ESR might be good, so I think we're all right for now.
I think you're going to upgrade in a lot of positions, but I mean, yeah, like right now, yeah, I agree.
Oh my God, yeah, Doubling Gooner does make a really good point here. We're a half hour in, and it's been all how shit Granit Xhaka's been.
I get it.
Right, so.
Not and I know you don't mean that I'm saying this, but again, I'm not saying he's shit. He's just 11 of 11. 11 of 11 of a Premier League winning team. I mean, right now. I'm not saying we won it, but I'm saying like right now we're 5 points clear in the Premier League. 11 of fuck. I'd suck a few dicks to be 11 of 11 on a Premier League winning team. 11 of 11, that's pretty good. But again, we're one of the youngest teams in the Premier League. You constantly want to get better. We're going to be good for a while, and I think Man City's just at that. They're vulnerable right now. Now's the time to strike. We need to win the Premier League this season. They're kind of in a bit of a transitional period. We need to strike now. Yeah, so I want to be better. And again, I'm not the manager, and I go to my Twitter. At halftime, I was like, Odegaard's got to come off. He's gassed. Give him time, and then he scores, and he goes, "Oh well." And I said to myself, "Well, I'm not the manager of Arsenal. Thank God for that." So like, I get that, but it's like I think we need, and it's funny because I think Granit Xhaka is probably the best athlete on our team, but he's probably the least athletic player on our team, and he's very.
I mean, he's got the most stamina. I don't know that I would say
athlete. No, athlete. I mean, what? How many games has he played for us week in, week out? How many times has he been hurt?
All
exactly. Have you? He's been hurt. I think in the entire time he's been with us, he's been hurt once. I mean, he's missed a couple games from. I think he had a knee injury.
This is bordering on obsessive, Ryan.
I don't want to talk compliment.
I don't want to talk about Xhaka anymore.
He's such an athlete.
So, Gabriel Martinelli.
I
Glenn, the floor is yours. And hey, there is no caveat of, hey, I'll be really brief. Glenn, take as much time as you like.
Well, it's usually not that much, whether it's talking or sex. But
Glenn, I can't understand what you're saying. Oh, just take Xhaka's cock out of your mouth. All right, yeah, I hear you. All right, go. You're good.
And he's not being confrontational. I mean, I could have said if you were the Arsenal manager, I would see the dressing room bulletin board full of penises, but I didn't say that, did I? So just
I would draw so many penises on that board.
But
big veiny triumphant motherfucker.
Oh, good Lord! Why did I say anything?
Like when Arteta drew the heart and the brain, like that thing that's like all over on the documentary All or Nothing.
Hey, I got news for you.
Penises everywhere.
I got news for you. Ramsdale said they are taking that disappointment of last year and using it as a motivational force this year. So don't knock whatever happens in that dressing room. What was my point?
Gabriel Martinelli.
Martinelli. I got a really simple thing to say about this dude. 2 goals, all right, like 92% passing, I think, in the game. And he still isn't at his best. That's scary. That's all I got to say about Martinelli.
So not to bring up old shit, but Martinelli runs in spurts, in my opinion. Like I've seen this now really over 2+ seasons with him. Of he'll give you 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, really good performances. And he drops off for 2 or 3, maybe a 4th. And when he's in those dips, the thing I notice about him is it's like he's trying too hard. He hangs on to the ball forever. What's that?
He's I think with a player with that speed, when they I definitely think he's indecisive at times. And I think a player at that speed, it happens a lot because when the players start to slow down, everyone's so used to seeing him go so fast, 100 miles an hour. You're like, oh, like, what are you doing? Do this, that. But it's like, I think the players just so used to, working at such a speed that when he slows up, you're like, oh, wait, fuck. I stopped running and I outran Seamus Coleman. Like, what do I do now? And it's like, well, you should have passed it like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, Pat.
But then he'll get the ball and he'll do his thing down toward the goal line, and he'll get his back to goal and he tries to come out of it. And there will be someone there that just like, look, man, just relieve the pressure off yourself. You've got someone in support, give them the ball. And instead he's like, nope, I can do this. He's Iceman in Top Gun. 15 more seconds and I got it. 15 more seconds and then I got it. But it's always 15 more seconds. It's not always 15 more seconds and he's got it.
But guys,
when he's brilliant, he's at his best when he's quick. Because he's already fast. But when he's quick and he's making those quick decisions and he can get rid of the ball quickly off his foot, that's when he's the most dangerous. And I agree with Demsek. Martinelli is as dangerous a 9 as he is a winger. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but I think he has to play the 9 a little differently than he plays the wing. But I think he can do both. And again, what did I say? What's the first thing I said Mikel Arteta values? Versatility. Ryan?
No, wait.
Uh,
Wait.
I was just saying one thing. Okay, Glenn, go, Glenn.
All right. First of all, I can't yell because if any of my neighbors are in their yard, all they're hearing is me talking and nothing else.
That's funny. Now, I'm sorry, but the thought of that is fucking hysterical.
Who is
this guy? What is this guy doing?
Glenn, I hate to break it to you. I'm pretty sure your neighbors already know that you're crazy and you talk. To
Yeah,
yourself.
that's probably true too. But seriously, for those that don't know, my wife is working where I usually am, and I'm in a tent in the backyard. And if you're in your backyard and I'm surrounded by 3 houses, they're just hearing me talk to myself. That's what it sounds like. So that's why I'm talking a little bit lower. Okay, guys, up until 2 games ago, Saka was holding on to the ball too long. BG, Martinelli's 21. He'll get more consistent. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. He's young. And that's one of those things to me that a young player, all young players will do that. It's something they need to improve on. But again, when he's on, he's spot on. Ryan, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
No, funny, Glenn kind of touched upon it. I don't know about Saka's been doing that. Saka does it a little less sporadically, but when Saka was kind of
I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm sorry.
No. Dumbledore always knows how to get a laugh out of me. So, no, I think when Saka isn't playing well, I think something that I notice is, oh my God, he holds on to the ball way too long. He just dribbles into the corner and he has nothing to do with the ball. I think Martinelli is going through the same growing pains as what Saka was going through when he was coming up, not through the academy, but coming up through the Arsenal first team. Probably more so when Arteta first took the team, even when Emery was kind of in charge, and when he started playing. I mean, he did it when he played left wing for us, but he did it a lot when he played right wing. When he would just dribble in the corners, just dribble, and we would just leave him off to the side and be like, "Hey, Saka, figure it out," and he would just either get fouled. He would dribble out of it, or he would just lose the ball. And it was kind of a headache, at least for me watching him play with it. But I think he's gotten so good and so much better that people are like, this guy just creates something out of nothing every time. And he just, either he's getting fouled and the other player deserves a yellow, or he's getting out and he's making passes. Like, he rarely loses the ball. He's something. I'll leave it at that. I'll put, you could take Xhaka's dick out of your mouth, Glenn. I'm going to put Saka's. You know what? I like Saka too much. I don't want to say that out loud to the public. But yes, you get where I was going with that. But yeah, I think Martinelli is going through the same kind of phase where he's just like on the side by himself. He's taking on a little too more than he should. And he's not necessarily knowing what to do with it because he hasn't had that experience yet. And I think he's, again, like you said, Glenn, he's 21. I think he's going to eventually come good. I think it's just experience, practice, and just keep playing the system and keep maybe playing with a better left eight. Keep switching with Trossard, switching with Odegaard, and constantly moving the ball, switching with Xhaka, switching with Zinchenko, which I think they did very well against Everton. This game, Everton.
Is this one of the best games that we've played yesterday?
No, because
I wouldn't even put it in I don't know if I would say top, maybe 5, but it's not even.
Top 5, not top 3.
I don't know. I don't even know if I would say top 5, but it would be right close because we had some great games at the beginning of the season that for me were just, it would be tough to kind of.
Yeah, I get it.
I wrote the word frustrated more than once when I was watching the game because I write notes. So I can't say it's one of the best games we played, but I did think of you while we were watching the game because you asked this off the cuff question of, would you rather have a 4-0 win or a 5-0 win? And I'm like, this is what I wanted. So I have to tell BG, but not all the time because I'm a little bored. So yeah, I thought of you during the game, and while it wasn't one of our best games, I don't know how. All I've heard, I don't know how Ryan could be so upset.
I'm not upset. I'm not that upset.
That's all.
I don't know.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I offer concern and trying to improve the team, especially when you're top of the league. And Glenn thinks I think the whole world's burning, and I don't. I think we played very well. I think it was a very good game. I think once Odegaard scored, I think from then on, and we only scored Odegaard, and then it was Martinelli. I think that those 20 minutes, even maybe 5 minutes, even before that, I think we were like, I was like, oh, like now this is peak Arsenal. Like that was great. But no, yeah, I don't know. I just.
Oh my gosh.
We're not a perfect. And it's funny because I kind of get why Glenn thinks I think the world's burning as an Arsenal fan, because I think Glenn thinks that Arsenal are shitting rainbows and unicorns and sour Skittles, and Glenn thinks, oh, we won, we're the best team in the league, and like nobody could beat us, and we're gonna win on aggregate 12-0 against Sporting, and we're gonna win the Europa League, and when we play Man City, we're gonna batter them 7-0, and I don't know, like I don't think you believe that, Glenn, but you exude that. Like I just think like you think that, even though I know you don't.
Ryan, you know I love you. You know I respect you.
Oh, here we go, but
shut up, you little shit.
Yeah,
we're three.
There it is.
We're 3 wins away from last year's point total. Be happy, you little shit.
No, I'm happy, but I want to be better. The two things can be mutually exclusive. Like I'm happy where we are. I'm happy what we're doing. I'm happy we have Granit Xhaka. I genuinely mean that. I'm happy we have Granit Xhaka on our team.
Ren and Stimpy.
But I want to be better. I think we can be better.
I really hope that came through, by the way.
I heard happy.
I know, but like I hope people like watching, I hope it came through like everybody could still hear what Ryan was saying.
Yes, I heard what he was saying.
And I was quiet enough with the happy that it kind of works. You know what I mean?
Happy, joy.
No,
joy.
you know what? No, I mean, I can't believe that I'm agreeing with you as much as I am. But at the end of the day, let's face it. This is what has made City, besides just throwing money at the fucking trophy and hoping that it fills up. Okay.
I don't feel bad, BG. Whenever somebody agrees with me, they apologize right after. So don't worry about it.
I hope you weren't talking about me. I didn't apologize for shit.
I know you don't.
You're always striving to get better. You're never going to play the perfect game. And that's what you're always striving for. And if you get to the point where you say, that's the game, I can't play any better than that, retire. If you're a professional athlete and you walk off the playing surface saying, that was it, that was the perfect game for me, retire. And that's what made Michael Jordan so great. It's what made Tom Brady so great. It's what made Mario Lemieux so great. It's what made, who'd you say?
I said don't do it. I'm thinking you're going to say somebody else, but I mean, close enough. You said another fucking Pittsburgh Penguin.
Oh, you think I was going to say Sidney Crosby over Mario Lemieux? Are you out of your fucking mind?
I mean, yeah. I didn't.
I was going to say Wayne Gretzky, but we all.
Yeah, you said Lemieux, but you said Lemieux first. All right.
You cut him a break. Okay, he's from Pittsburgh. All right. I was talking to a guy from Pittsburgh the other day, and he said, "What are we known for? Being the land of the living dead, where George Romero shot all his movies, which isn't a bad thing to me."
Hey, you're from Pittsburgh and that. Hey, what you known for down there? Hey, ain't James got all them bridges in that? You've got all them bridges in that. You've got them rivers, and you've got some good beer down there, and I don't know. I you know what? Don't you talk to me like that.
And you have one of the most beautiful baseball stadiums. I can't wait to go with you in June to see the Mets play the Pirates. So I'm not going to knock Pittsburgh.
I just completed my Tom Brady bingo card. I love it. That's fucking tremendous. No, back to the point. It's what makes the great ones great. It's what separates the greatest from the great from the really good. It's the ones that say, I've never played that perfect game, right? It's Thierry Henry. It's Messi. You want to bring it back to football. It's those guys that say, I've never played the perfect game. I'm not going to say Ronaldo, because I think somewhere Ronaldo thinks that all of his games are perfect. That egotistical bastard. Anyway, BX Gutter, no, not Jaromir Jagr. Sorry, but no. But it's always striving to get better. So I think, to Ryan's point, like, do we want to come on here and sit here and bitch about how we could be better when we're the number one team in the league? No. But it's interesting to talk about to me, because otherwise we just come on here and we just spout fairy dust and rainbows and unicorns, inflatable inner tube unicorns, but it's first of all, it's something to talk about, because there are instances where we can be better. We are not a perfect team. And I dare say we are flawed enough that we can be caught by City, and I'd say that's pretty much it. I don't think we're going to be. I think this is a 2-horse race at this point. But you get my point. It's interesting to talk about. We can improve. We can be great, and I think we are great right now. We are becoming great. Every game is another opportunity where we become a little bit better, greater than we were before.
I like that. I don't think I disagree slightly. I don't think we're great right now. I think we're becoming great. I think that's perfect. I think it's the perfect thing to say. We're becoming great. And can we become even a little bit greater? Yeah, then I'm gonna fucking try that.
I only have a quibble with perfection. There's no such thing in sports except maybe the Invincibles and the 1985 Bears. That's about as close as you get to perfection in sports.
Whoa. The 2007 Pats would like to have a word.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan.
Have a word with you.
All right. Well,
the 72 Dolphins.
Yeah.
Considering I thought of that in 30 seconds, I'm sorry. All right, fine. I'm sure you can bring up a bunch of other perfection stories, but my point is, nothing in life is perfect.
I think a team in the Premier League kind of did a thing called
All right, I said the
Invincible. Invincible. Yeah, that's it.
I
wonder what Premier League team did that.
I named them, Ryan. Okay, go ahead. Move on with the show. You guys are annoying me.
You get my point with it. It's let's celebrate being great, but let's not look. It's you never want to get too high and you never want to get too low, right? And I think that's I saw a video on Twitter yesterday, and it was maybe a Premier League recap show. Hang on, got time out, because I want to give my nephew Cohen a shout out. I don't know if he's watching or can hear this, but what's up, buddy? Miss you.
Nephew says hi, then I think
that's my buddy. Hey, he was in Baltimore. My brother and my nephew were in Baltimore to watch us play Everton. Ironically enough, we're talking about Everton.
That is pretty funny.
And we were down there together to watch the preseason friendly. But it was it was over in England, so it was just a clip. But the pundits were talking to Bukayo Saka remotely, and one of them, I think, said to him something along the lines of, "Are you too young to understand where you are?" And there's a beautiful naivety to this Arsenal team being as young as what they are. They don't know how to finish second. With where they are right now, they don't know how to finish second.
Neither do I.
I don't know that you know how to finish. I think that's what you meant to say.
No, I do.
But I think you understand my point. And they
want to finish second. Oh, sorry.
Do you?
Make sure my wife doesn't.
Anyway, before you get yourself into some trouble there,
nice guys finish last.
There you go. You got me off my fucking topic. And one of the pundits made the comment that there are not a bunch of veterans on this side that finished second somewhere else, and that's all they know how to do. It's a bunch of kids finally coming together as a whole with a veteran filled in here and there that are pushing this team forward. That it was a little poetic to me just listening to this and thinking to myself, these guys just want to keep getting better. And then Arteta had a comment after the game about Martinelli and Saka that they want more information. They just want to practice. They just want to play. They just want to keep getting better. And I put out a tweet that said, hard work plus talent equals lethal. And then below that, I put Saka plus Martinelli equals lethal. And I quoted Mikel Arteta in the tweet. And that was brilliant to me. And that encapsulates, I think, everything that we're all in agreement with is we're all striving to get better. This team is going to continue to try to get better. And ultimately, like if I'm Mikel Arteta in the dressing room right now, I'm saying, look, the end goal here is the Death Star. Galactic football domination. That's what we're after. I want all the trophies. I want all of them. And honest to God, I think that's where this is headed. Finish out the squad in the summer. Grab somebody in January if you feel you need it, or if you've got an injury or something like that. But galactic football domination that's what we're after here. And being the best team in the world in every competition that we play. Are we the perfect team? We'll never be the perfect team. And the minute that we think we are is the minute that the world will come crashing down and Luke Skywalker flies through the Death Star and blows it up. Anyway, go ahead, Glenn.
I get it. I'm just like, we all are experiencing it differently. I know that when in football, there's a tendency to like to argue and pick apart things, but we're all individuals. And right now, I'm just enjoying this magical season. And, that's why I'm trying to not be too hard on Ryan and wanting ESR in there instead of Xhaka. That's all. I just enjoy the ride, guys, which BG likes to say all the time. And I've stolen that from you because I'm living it.
Oh, I don't get me wrong. In the moment, I am over the moon. I was absolutely over the moon yesterday. Every goal that's scored, I'm fist bumping, guys. We're high fiving, we're cheering. It's fantastic. But just like the team, in the moment, you go and you celebrate, but you realize that it's back to work today. Like now, clean slate, right? Mm-hmm. Today you start over because today you start getting ready for Bournemouth on Saturday.
Yeah, but don't you feel like this team is at that point where we're not going to take Bournemouth for granted? I know they beat Wolves 1-0 last game, but I think we're going to spank them too.
Knock on wood. I wouldn't say that I'm confident that we are at that point, but I am fairly confident that we're at that point of not taking anyone for granted. Excuse me. And I also think that even if we do, I think the talent and the hard work comes through enough to carry it out. Even if we do take them for granted. And I think we took Southampton for granted and we still got a draw out of it. I think we took Leeds for granted a little bit and we still won. So I think that we are good enough and we work hard enough that even if we do, we can overcome it, but we don't want to make it a habit. So that being said, nice little segue into a quick preview because we're right up against it time-wise. Looking ahead to Saturday, to Ryan's point, even to your point, Glenn, because you agree with it, tweaking the squad, giving someone else a run out, and I'm gonna ask you both how you would approach it, but I'm gonna qualify it with this. If they don't play, if you're taking someone out of the 11 for Saturday, the next game is Thursday, and then we go again Sunday. So you're talking about potentially 11 days off between games for someone, maybe, because I think there will be a fair amount of squad rotation come next Thursday. So, Ryan, how are you setting up? Just not top to bottom. I think we know the obvious starters. Who are the not obvious starters? Who are you going to put in there?
I think the one thing I was actually going to ask you guys, because they kind of talked on the broadcast a little bit. Do we know if the Jorginho Partey sub was planned or
I don't.
Jorginho hurt?
I didn't hear anything.
I heard someone say something that I don't know where I read it somewhere earlier today that we hope Jorginho's injury is fine. It's the knock. And then I heard someone like, oh no, it was, in a hot box. If anyone's in a hot box, it would be Glenn.
I'm in a tent in my backyard because my wife is in my area. I usually am.
For whatever the reason is, I do hope he's okay. And then I just read that Jorginho's doubtful because he has a fever. I don't know, but I think we go unchanged.
There it is. So
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought it was just a tactical because
I,
Partey took over the game when he came in.
okay. Well, Glenn, we don't want to peg us for another hour. I mean, disagree with you. But I will say I like the sub, but I'm a little upset that it wasn't planned because I think that would have been a good substitution because we're trying to get Partey back into health. Yes, we were up 2-0, but I think and I think Jorginho's been immense for us since we signed him. But Partey just offers more. He just does more. He is more.
Okay, so
he's
who
a
you
carrier.
replacing?
Jorginho's not. I'm getting there, Glenn. Yeah, but whatever. So, but if Jorginho's okay, if he's good, I think we go unchanged. I think we don't make any substitutions. I wouldn't be Partey for Jorginho is fine. Actually, yeah, I would probably do Partey for Jorginho for the Bournemouth game, and then Sporting will give to Jorginho. But Sporting, I think, is where we see Jorginho Vieira, Jorginho ESR, whatever. It's probably gonna be Jorginho Rivera, Vieira. Eddie might come if Eddie's knock is good. Eddie might come back into the lineup. I think that's when we kind of move. That's when we're going to kind of move pieces around a little bit. But yeah, Bournemouth. No, I don't think we change really anything.
For me, Partey instead of Jorginho against Bournemouth, and because we have so many fixtures, I think I'd like to see Eddie up front again for Bournemouth, and Trossard coming off the bench.
Who do you want them playing striker?
Martinelli and Kedia and Saka, and let Trossard come off the bench for this one.
No. But I'm saying for Sporting, who you want?
I want all those names you've been talking about. Vieira, ESR. I want.
Who do you want as a striker? Is what I'm saying.
Who do I want as a striker? Probably Trossard.
Okay.
I don't think Nketiah. I wouldn't be up. I tweeted this days ago, before the last game. I don't mind Trossard playing. I like playing the hot hand, but if Nketiah is in there, I have confidence in him too.
I think at this point we have confidence in just about everybody. I know it won't happen, but I'm gonna go. Well, Ryan, you gave who you think will start. I agree. I think we'll go largely unchanged. The rotation will happen next week against Sporting. But boy, I'd really like to see ESR get in there and just get a good run out. Even if he plays 60 minutes, even if it's 50 minutes, give him the start and let him go run because there's a role for him to play, I think, in this season for us yet to come.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Look, Bournemouth is 19th, BG. I don't mind, if Arteta wants to put ESR in there now, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Not going to start him, but again, this is like the one thing we talked this with Arteta. I don't like how he's just like, he takes the longest to make the first substitution. Like we need players to get more minutes. We need Partey to get more minutes. We need ESR to get more minutes. We need Vieira to get more minutes.
Yep.
And now, to be fair, I'm going to probably
to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair. I'm going to get my mouth shut on Thursday when they all start. And I don't think he is. But that's the thing, too. I don't know if he's ready to start either. Like, I want him to get just a substantial amount of minutes. But, like, I don't want him to play 90 either. Or, I mean, I do want him to play 90, but I don't want to risk anything. And I'm sure we're going to be so delicate with ESR.
Health. Right. That's why I said,
same with Partey.
For me, throw ESR, give him the start. And let him go 45. And look.
But Arteta's not going to do that, though. Arteta doesn't make this up to 70 minutes. So either he's playing 90 or 70 minutes, which, I mean, I would like to see, but I also want him to take it easy.
This would be the warm-up for Thursday. And with the 5 subs, man, I would give these guys that are going to start on Thursday, I'd give them a long, hard look on Saturday. Look, first things first, win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Win the game. If you want to start some players and give them a good run out, do that. And if it's not going well, give them the first half. And if it's not going well, say, guys, look, okay, I gave you your run out. It's not working. We're going to change some things up and make some changes at halftime. If it's going well, if we're up 1-0, hopefully 2-0 at halftime, give them another 15 to 25 minutes. Give them 15 minutes, not 25. Give them 15 minutes to the 60-minute mark and get them off. But that's the one knock on Arteta that I have is we've got to get these guys more playing time. We can't expect Kivior and ESR and Vieira to go out. I mean, Jorginho would have been the guy to start Thursday had Partey stayed healthy through all of this. You know what I mean? He is probably a little different, but these guys got to get out there. They got to get some playing time. It's not fair to them to expect, hey, okay, I'm going to start you Thursday, and you need to go out and get the job done, and you have no playing time under your belt in an Arsenal shirt whatsoever. I'm thinking more of Kivior right now than anybody else.
Well,
But
Also, what's interesting is we talk about this the Saturday to Thursday, but we should also, I mean, we don't need to talk about it at great lengths, but I think what also is more important is our Thursday to Sunday where we have Fulham.
It is.
We have Fulham, and I think Fulham, I listen, points don't lie. I think they're a decent team. I think the standings kind of give them fluff them up a little bit. But I agree. I don't think they should be underestimated. I completely agree with BX. So I think that's going to be the interesting part because Bournemouth, we can kind of any of the players we named, I think we could start and we'll be fine. Now Arteta, we all know he likes to go strong. He doesn't really change much, so I don't expect really much to be changed between now and the Fulham game. But yeah, I and also too, like I would really like to get a nice cushion for the first leg because we're going to be in Portugal, so I think we need to kind of like put our stamp here and be like, listen, we're coming to Portugal. We're gonna throw hands and we're gonna put you guys kind of in the back mirror. Not to say that when we play them at the Emirates, we're gonna take them easy, but we're gonna have. I would like to be, have at least a 2-goal cushion coming to the Emirates with them, and we could kind of maybe rest a little bit and do some things. But I don't know. This is going to be a very tough fixture or I guess tough 3 fixtures. Because to me, the easiest fixture would probably be the Bournemouth one. So
yeah, for sure.
But I don't think I don't know. It's Arteta always goes so strong. I wouldn't be surprised if we play the same 11 every game, and we just maybe with Sporting 1 or 2 more changes. But there's players that really need minutes, and he needs to make the early substitution against Bournemouth. Again, this is of course saying that we're winning, and everything's going smoothly against Bournemouth. And yeah, these guys, there's a lot of players on our team that need minutes, and yeah, and this is good. Again, we talk about this is a good headache to have. We have such good depth that cool, bring on Tierney, bring on ESR, bring on Vieira, bring on I guess now Eddie. It's a good problem.
I don't see if we're up like 2 goals against Bournemouth in the second half. I think we're going to see all those people. I think Arteta is not. Look what BX said earlier. Every game is going to be tough. I would like our strongest 11 for every game, but I understand the tweaking and the changing with the Europa League. I think all these questions will be answered. I'm very, very confident that Arteta is going to rotate the squad very nicely. That will appease you, Ryan, and BG.
I don't think so, but I appreciate your positivity, Glenn.
All right. So, final thoughts. Ryan, I'm going to give it over to you first for a final thought. Have at it.
I mean, it's a good emphatic win. We've had a lot of wins this season where we're winning 1-0 and barely winning, and still playing is good. But still seeing 4-0 on the scoreboard is always good to see. So I'm happy for the guys. I'm happy. I support such a fucking huge club. And thank you, Big Gunner. I'd like to see Reece Nelson get some minutes. He hasn't even, I don't really want to talk too much about. Didn't want to talk too much about that. He's not even making the bench. So and with the depth that we have, there's going to be that player that's going to. And when Gabriel Jesus comes back, there's going to be somebody else that doesn't make the bench. It might be a Tierney. It might be a Holding.
Yep.
So that's just problems that are good to have, but still, it's upsetting because I think. No, I'm not. I wasn't. Now that you brought it up, though. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. But I really
score.
There's so many players, and again, it's a problem. It's a good problem to have, but not for me because I want to see Vieira play extended periods of time. I want to see ESR get back into shape, play extended periods of time. I want to see Reece Nelson get back into shape and play extended periods of time. And we have so many games, but Arteta's not like. I just don't see him really rotating, but yeah, I mean, I think this is a very vital week for us. with the first leg of Europa League finally coming back. And Fulham, again, BX, you definitely said that. Yes, you did, BX. Giving credit to BX here. I know you said Bournemouth must not be underestimated. Well, I think the same could be said for Fulham. I think Fulham is not underestimated. I think that's going to be interesting going from Thursday to Thursday with Fulham in the middle, because I think Fulham's going to be a test, and Fulham has proven to be a very big problem to the top 6.
And your score?
For the Bournemouth game?
Yeah.
I fucking hate predicting score.
I'm going to be the only one giving predictions on this show now?
I'll do it. I'm going to say, I'll say, Glenn, I'll take 3-0 to the Arsenal.
Okay, I say 3-1. Arsenal has been winning the games they're supposed to win. The manager has them completely motivated. I think we're going to win 3-1.
No, I'm saying 2-0, but we dominate them. Should have been 3-0. Say 2-0.
Okay. But I am. This is so unlike some of these previous seasons where I worry, because this team is young, professional, and on fire for the most part.
You said most part. I got through to him, Tanner. I got through to him. I win. The money is mine.
I win. I don't expect perfection.
Shout out to him in the chat that knows what movie that's from.
You expect perfection, Ryan. You'll never be happy. So that's my thoughts, BG. And I know you don't give predictions.
I do not. I'm looking for the Bournemouth match from earlier this year, and I can't find it.
Please said porn.
Now I know exactly what happened.
I found out that Vern Troyer had a sex tape leak.
Good God.
Oh my God.
Mini me. Anyway, if anyone wants to know.
Yes. All right.
Sorry.
Yeah. So we've got Bournemouth at the
gotta
weekend.
find that later.
The Sunday Gunner will be back this Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. Ryan will not be here, but ever in his stead will be LL Cool James. James Johnstone will join Glenn and
maybe I'll pop in. I'll be at a wedding, so maybe I'll be really drunk and I'll pop in and say hi.
The wedding is Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But yeah, thank you to everybody for jumping in here in the live chat. Gary, Dublin Gooner, Bronx Gunner. My brother was in there. Daniel Shaw, Demsek was in there. We had a new face in here, Golarzo. I'm going to throw the comment back up there. That's a new name. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you subscribed to the channel. If you didn't, we would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it if you did. Everybody watching on the replay, thank you all very much for sticking with us. Tell a friend about the show and the channel. If you don't have any friends, tell a coworker. If you don't have any coworkers, tell a family member. If you don't have a family member, boy, oh boy. Let's talk. So, but anyway, that is it for us. Glenn and I are back on Sunday with the Sunday Gunner. Ryan will be back with us next week. That's all we got. We'll see you on the flip side.
Bye-bye.